What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. You've probably heard a lot of talk about how artificial intelligence will revolutionize industries. But what else could this emerging tech be used for? Some companies, like those at this year's Computex event in Taipei, are looking for other areas where AI can make an impact. Yvonne has more.
Computers, chips, video games, they're all on display here at Computex Taipei. It's Asia's largest tech trade show, and many companies here are focused on how artificial intelligence can be incorporated into various sectors. One of the most promising fields could be in health and medicine. In one of the keynotes here at Computex, Taiwan-based computing company Acer touched on how it's using AI to try and help boost health systems in places like Africa.
We need to strengthen the healthcare system so that more people can benefit from the system, can gain more health. So this time, instead of deploying the doctor with a box of medication, we deploy programmers. 20 years ago, you deployed doctor. 10 years later, you deploy programmers. This time, you deploy AI.
The company said it's already started using AI to help digitalize paper records in hospitals across the African continent. Using AI to solve problems like strained health systems is part of efforts by many companies here to use the tech to improve people's lives. Another topic at this keynote was a push for greener approaches to tech production.
We actually put a very aggressive target that we will reach renewable energy 100% by 2035, and then net zero by 2050.
Net zero carbon emissions by 2050 is also a goal set by Taiwan's president, Tsai Ing-wen. It's part of a push to make the country more environmentally friendly. Huge amounts of energy are needed to make tech products, and the country is hoping it can switch to more renewable forms to meet the demands of its crucial tech sector. This push comes as many places around the world are already experiencing the effects of climate change. While much of the buzz at Computex is over the sleek new hardware on display, companies are also pushing for more long-term thinking about the effects these gadgets have on the rest of the world. Eason Chen and Yvonne for TaiwanPlus.
The maker of what's been described as the world's most complicated machine has won a $9 million subsidy for research and manufacturing in Taiwan. In total, Dutch company ASML will spend $30 million to help develop a new generation of cutting-edge computer chip. Roughly a third of that amount will come from Taiwan's government. ASML makes extreme ultraviolet lithography machines, which are essential for making the world's most advanced semiconductors. The company plans to open a new plant near Taipei. Taiwan's Economy Ministry has described the deal with ASML as the first of its kind. Taiwan and the U.S. are set to sign their first deal under a new trade initiative. The two countries will sign the first part of the U.S.-Taiwan Initiative on 21st Century Trade on Thursday. They say the deal will strengthen their economic ties. It'll aim to cut paperwork for businesses, but it won't reduce tariffs on goods. Talks began on the agreement last year after Washington left Taiwan out of a larger trade initiative called the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. The U.S. is Taiwan's second largest trading partner after China. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a deal to allow the country to borrow more money. It comes days before the U.S. is due to start defaulting on its debt. After weeks of negotiations between Democrats and Republicans on Wednesday evening, the House overwhelmingly voted to send the bill to the Senate. The Senate will need to enact the measure, and President Joe Biden must set it into law before a Monday deadline. The U.S. Treasury has warned that government could run out of money to pay its bills if this deadline is not met. The White House has said it needs more lines of communication with China. This follows what the U.S. described as an aggressive maneuver by a Chinese jet near a U.S. military plane. Footage released by the Pentagon on Tuesday showed a Chinese fighter jet banking sharply and passing in front of a U.S. military reconnaissance aircraft. The incident took place in international airspace over the South China Sea. China said that a U.S. spy plane deliberately intruded into the country's training area. It comes as tensions between the two superpowers have become increasingly strained.
There are lines of communication open, and certainly we have used the diplomatic channel to convey our concerns over this particular intercept. But that's not the same as having mill-to-mill comms and having that available to you, especially when tensions are so high and the risk of miscalculations are also high.
The ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP, has announced the party's Democratic Alliance Initiative. It's aimed at fostering cooperation with other parties. The DPP is teaming up with smaller parties and independent politicians ahead of the 2024 general elections. But not everyone within the party is open to the idea. Wu, a DPP politician, criticized the initiative. He says the party is sacrificing younger DPP members in favor of bigger names outside the party. For more on the DPP's Democratic Alliance Initiative, TaiwanPlus reporter Bing Wang spoke to Courtney Donovan-Smith, a political commentator based in Taichung.
Can you tell us more about Lai Ching-de's Democratic Alliance plan?
They've chosen a largely young slate of candidates for these particularly tough districts. And fundamentally, I think what's going on here is two different things. One is some of the candidates, and this is the big controversial part, includes an ex-spokesperson for the New Power Party and an ex-member of the KMT, believe it or not. And but there's, I think, 3 independents, and they're not DPP party members, but the DPP is going to back them. So what I think they're trying to accomplish there with that is they think that there's a better chance that they'll win if they run these candidates there. And the reason for that is that there are certain districts and certain types of voter who just simply will never vote for a DPP candidate.
And why are younger voters flocking away from the DPP, and where are they going?
What's happened recently is that younger voters, by voters I mean under 40, have started abandoning the DPP in droves. They haven't been going to the KMT, they've been going to the Taiwan People's Party, the TPP. And so Lai is trying to reach out to voters under 40. Now, by picking these sunflower figures, I think that he's looking to win back voters from their late 20s to early 40s. The ones that have abandoned the DPP but voted for the DPP in the last 2 national election cycles. Those in their early 20s, I don't think this will help with them at all. They're too young to remember the Sunflower Movement.
So how come some DPP members are against the Democratic Alliance?
Well, okay, so some politicians, for example, most vocally Enoch Wu, who is the former head of the DPP's Taipei chapter, he came out and he was upset about the part where the party was backing the 3 independents. And he said that this was harmful for the future of the party. You should cross the river with the people in the same boat. In other words, the party should be running with party members and not backing independents so that you develop talent from within the party. And he says, and so Wu was suggesting that this takes away from the potential to develop more talent for the future.
Again, that was Bing Wang speaking with Courtney Donovan-Smith, a political commentator based in Taichung. The number of traffic deaths in Taiwan in the first 3 months of 2023 were up 10% from the same period last year. Between January and March, the country saw over 100,000 road accidents and more than 800 deaths. The western county of Yunlin reported the highest number of accidents. It's also the only county in Taiwan to not have a dedicated chief overseeing road safety. Taiwan has been cracking down on its dangerous roads, with police focusing on getting drivers to stop for pedestrians at crosswalks. Airline pilots are the highest earners in Taiwan. That's according to a recent survey by the country's labor ministry. Pilots topped the list with an average monthly salary of just over $9,000. In second place were insurance actuaries, followed by medical doctors, shipping managers, and professional athletes. The survey also identifies the most well-paying industry to work in: freight shipping and warehousing. But this purchasing power may not always be felt. Average real wages in this year's first quarter dropped as inflation has grown. Hungary is set to get a dose of Taiwanese culture. The country's capital, Budapest, marks its 150th anniversary this month. And as John Van Trieste reports, Taiwanese cultural events will be a part of the celebrations.
For Taiwan's Paper Windmill Theater troupe, it's nearly showtime. The actors and puppeteers known for touring rural Taiwan are now heading to Europe. The Hungarian capital, Budapest, is turning 150, and its government has invited the troupe to help celebrate the occasion. From June 16th to the 21st, the group will be in Hungary performing a piece called Norza, The Adventure to the Dragon Palace. This performance, created for children, combines Taiwanese opera, puppetry, and martial arts with animation. Taiwan's Culture Ministry is hopeful about the trip.
这个能够让乌克兰的难民以及其小朋友来观赏，我觉得这不只是文化作为外交的第二张名片而已啊。我想这其实是展现台湾其实是与世界同在的一个很重要的一个精神。
Taiwanese NGO, the General Association of Chinese Culture, has also been invited. It says it hopes the performances will be emotionally moving for both local children and Ukrainian refugees who fled to Hungary amid the war in their country.
我们希望透过这样的一个方式，用文化来加深台兄之间的一个友情。我们要带着纸风车的温暖跟这个文化力量，去抚慰他们。我们希望说，再次看见 乌克兰小朋友的笑容。
Other events during the celebrations will include a festival of Taiwanese culture. The goal is to expand Taiwan's cultural footprint and bring a taste of its music and dance to audiences 9,000 kilometers away. Alex Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
An indigenous group in southern Taiwan has rescued an endangered Formosan black bear. For the first time, their efforts has been rewarded under conservation measures. Sally Jensen reports.
Worth its weight in gold. Taiwan's Formosan black bear is one of the country's most recognizable native species. But there are only a few hundred of them left in Taiwan. Those that survive can be found in remote areas which are often home to the country's indigenous groups. One danger the bear's face is traps used for hunting other animals. That's what injured this particular bear. Fortunately, a local indigenous group reported the bear's plight to the Forestry Bureau, who sent a team to assist. They had to amputate the bear's paw to save its life. It's now doing well and will be released back into the wild.
要野放的话，我们会请专家学者来做一个评估。那在野放之前，我们也会训练它攀爬的能力。
Authorities hope they'll be able to help more bears with a policy that offers financial rewards to anyone who reports an injured black bear. Anywhere between $65 to $325 are up for grabs.
不小心误捕误伤，保育类的野生动物，大家也不要太过于紧张。只要你不是刻意的，那就立即通报我们，那也来协助救援。那在这个部分，就不用担心会被救着。
Hunting with traps is a long-held cultural tradition among some of Taiwan's indigenous peoples. This group from the Ligawan people is the first to be compensated for helping save this bear's life. Their success shows the importance of their role in conservation too. Andy Xue and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of 230 classic cars hidden for decades in a dusty barn in the Netherlands. The vehicles are now up for auction. I'm Yvonne Young. Take care and see you next time.